Hello everybody, this is Suresh Kumar Soren. In this video, I'm going to tell you the CRUD operation in PHP using AJAX. So let's start it. At first, we need to create a folder, go to C drive, then XAMPP or WAMP, whatever the local server you are using. Here I'm using the XAMPP server. Go to htdocs. Here we need to create the folder. CRUD PHP is my folder name. Okay. PHP. I'm using the bracket text editor, so you can use your own according to your choice. Okay, now we need to create a file index.php where we make the forms. So here we need to make a form through which we will insert the data into the database or table. Okay, so I have already created the form to save the time. So let me tell you a little bit about this. As you can see, this is the normal HTML tag. Okay, then I have created a container, then row, and then I have put a column at 12. In this project I'm using the bootstrap also. Then I have made a button for the model through which we will insert the data. Here you can see the model of inserting the data. ID is insert model. Okay, and then here I have created a form. As we are using here the AJAX, so there is no need to put method is equal to post or action. Okay, so let's remove this one. So here we need to write button because we are using the AJAX. So if we use the submit type, then it will use the form action method. Okay, so we have to remove that submit, and instead of submit we have to define type is equal to button. Fine. Here you can see the submit ID. Okay, so let me show you how it looks like on the browser. Localhost, my port number, and CRUD PHP is my folder name. So this is what it looks like on a browser. Once you click on add student, the model insert model will appear. Okay, now let's create the database and table where we will store the data. For that we have to open our PHP myadmin. Okay, so let's create the database first. Create database. Let's take the name CRUD PHP. Okay, and then just create a table here. Create table name. Suppose the table name is student, and inside a 90 bracket put the define all the columns. First ID int, and then size, then name varchar. Oh, I'm sorry, it must be primary key and auto increment. Okay, and then name varchar size. After that email varchar size, contact varchar size, and the last one is address varchar and the size. Okay, and execute it. So here we have created the table successfully. Now we need to insert into this table through AJAX. So let's do that. Here you can see the ID is submit. Okay, and in every textbooks I have put it the ID, like ID is equal to name, email, contact, and address. So now we need to open the script tag. Let's open it here, and then just write the query $document dot ready function 90 bracket, and after that put the curly braces and put a semicolon at the end. Here we need to define that on click of submit button what action we wanted to perform. Okay, So let's do this. Dollar 90 bracket and double quotes. Inside the double quote put a hash, because we have defined the id. So for id we are using hash, and for class we are using dot. Okay, so hash submit dot click. When we click on submit button, what action we wanted to perform, function, the curly braces, and inside the curly braces we define what we wanted to do. Okay, so let us check first whether the code is working or not, and just put the alert message. Okay, and let us check first whether the submit button is working or not. Okay, so when we click on the submit button, it shows working. It means the code is working perfectly fine, so there is no need of it. Just erase it. Now we need to retrieve all the data. We need to take all the data of text box here. So for this we need to create a variable name, and then as you can see here, I have put the id in every text box. So just name that one, name and val. Okay, so likewise we need to retrieve all the value of the text box. So let's copy this, name, email, then contact, and the last one is address. Okay, now let's put all these variable into a single variable so that it will be easier to send the data. Let's make a variable data string. Okay, here we will define all the variable to send it. Okay, so for this we need to put double quotes, after that the variable name which we are going to retrieve on the next page, equal to, and then plus name. So this name variable is the variable which we have defined here, and this name variable is the variable which we are going to retrieve on the next page. Fine. And one more thing, while you are putting the second variable, we need to add it through and sign or and operator. Okay, so now let's put email. Variable we have put it here, email, then and sign again, contact equal to plus contact plus and address equal to address. Fine. So let us check again whether we are getting the variable data of the text box or not. So let's check it. Fill all the details and then click on submit. Here you can see name is equal to Raj Soren, email, contact and address. We are getting all the things. It means the code is working. Okay, now next we need to send this variable to the next page where we will retrieve or save into the table. Okay, so here we need to write the code of AJAX, $.ajax 90 bracket, put as curly braces and then semicolon, and here we need to define type is colon post. Okay, URL where you are sending this data. Suppose we are sending to extend.php, from where we will insert the data. Okay, next one is data. What data you are sending? We have put it all the data in data string variable, and then success method. Okay, after success method, what action you wanted to perform? Okay, suppose you wanted to generate a message that data has been inserted successfully. Okay, define the else part also, error. If there will be some error, then it will also show. We have to define it, that what uh, a message we wanted to show. Alert, fail to insert the data. Okay, now we need to make a page action.php. Fine, so let's make it action.php. Here we need to define, here we need to do the connection first. So let's make a connection first. Make a variable $con mysqli connect, and after that localhost root password, and then database name. Database name is crud php. Okay, let's check it. Okay, so crud_php is the name of our database. Fine, let's put some function that if there is an error problem in connecting the database, then it must show some, what the message we wanted to show. MySQL connect error function echo fail to connect database. Fine, dot mysqli connect error. Okay, now we need to retrieve all the data whatever we have sent it from index.php page. So first we need to check whether it has the value or not. Okay, so let's write if it's set $_post name. Okay, and is set $_post email. So let's put all the variable whatever we have sent it from here. Next one is the contact, and then address. If it has the value, then the action will be performed. Okay, so here we need to retrieve all the value in a variable. So let's make a variable first, $name, $and post name. So likewise we need to put all the value in a variable. So let's do that. $email, $contact, and the last one is $address. Okay, now we need to make a query here through which we will insert the data into a table. Okay, let's make a variable $query mysqli query, and then we need to pass the connection variable first, and then just put a double quotes. Inside the double quote we need to write a query. Fine, insert into student. We have the column name, then email, contact, and address. Okay, values will be like this. We need to write the values inside a single or double quotes. I'm using single quote. Okay, so $name, $email, $contact, and the last one is $address. Put a semicolon here, and then just check it if the query is executed, then what message you wanted to display. Data has been inserted successfully, or in else part echo failed to insert the data. Fine, so let's check it first whether the code is working or not. fill all the text box or field, click on submit. Here it shows data has been inserted successfully. Let's check it. As you can see, the data has been inserted successfully. Okay, fine. So now what we wanted to do, we wanted to retrieve the data after inserting the data. Okay, so for that what we have to do, we need to create a function here. If the data has been inserted successfully, then we need to show the data, what the data has been inserted. Okay, for that we need to call the function. Suppose the function name is fetch data. Okay, so first we need to make this function. Okay, so again open a script tag, function fetch data. Okay, here we need to define the AJAX code to retrieve the data here. So first make a variable operation. Okay, operation is equal to fetching the data. Fine. Then just write the AJAX code, AJAX 90 bracket curly braces, and then again type is equal to post, URL is equal to action.php. Sorry, we need to put the semicolon first. Sorry, double quote, action.php, and then data operation. Okay, in this way you can also send the variable and then success. In the success function, what you wanted to show. Okay, or if you wanted to put the error message also, then you can do it also. Else error fail to retrieve. Fine. For to retrieve the data, we have to create the div first, from where we will retrieve the data. Fine. So let's create a div id all data. Okay, so here whatever data we will retrieve it, here in this div, inside this div the data will be shown. Okay, so we need to write like this, dollar # all data dot html, and then the parameter what we have passed here. Fine. Now we have to retrieve all the data in action.php page. Okay, so let's go to action.php. Here we will define if is set dollar and post operation. In the operation there is a value, that is, you can see here in operation we are putting a value fetching data, so it is not null. Fine. So here we'll again make a query here, $res mysql query, pass the connection variable, put a double quotes, and here we need to write the query, select star from student. Okay, if res, then we will write the while query, while loop, make a variable, and we will write mysql fetch at array and then we will pass the variable of the query. Fine. Then here we will retrieve all the data. Okay, so for that let's retrieve the data into a table so that it looks good. So let's make a table first. Table class table hover. Okay, make table row and then table head. First one is the serial number. Okay, second one is the name, and then name, email, contact, address. The last one is action. Okay, fine. Now we need to define another row, a table row, where we will retrieve the data. td. Here we have to open the PHP tag, and then we will retrieve $row. $row is the variable where we have query MySQL fetch array. Okay, so we need to define $row, and then inside a big bracket we need to call the name or the index value of the column. Fine. So here I am writing the column name. So first one is the ID for the serial number. Okay, next one is for the name, and then email, after that contact, and the last one is address. Fine. So let's see whether the data is showing or not. Okay, let's write the name, email, contact number, just put it anything, address. Okay, let's submit it. So as you can see, the data has been retrieved successfully. Okay, but you can see the serial name, serial number, email, name, email, contact is displaying twice. Why? Because we have put it inside the while loop. Okay, so we have to take out of the while loop this one, I mean table head. So let's do this first. Let's close the tag of PHP. You can also put all these HTML codes into the double quotes. We can also echo this one, but that is the lengthy process. So because of that I'm doing so. Cut it and then paste it before the while loop. Okay, and this table also we need to remove this and just put it after the while loop. Okay, open the PHP tag. Okay, fine. So let's see what's the difference. Is there any difference? Contact number, address. So submit it. Here you can see the data. Now the data is retrieving properly. Okay, so in action we can put edit or delete. So if we want like now the data has been retrieved after clicking the submit button. So like once we refresh this page, the data has been vanished. So after clicking submit button, the data is appear. If we wanted to retrieve the data on page load also, we can do this by putting only one function on the body tag. Just write onload and function fetch data. So once the page has been loaded, the data will be appeared like this. Okay, so after that, if we will add some more data, let's add some more data, contact number, address. Okay, once we add, the data has been added, or it will retrieve also, and after clicking on the after refreshing the page, the data is retrieved. Okay, so likewise you can insert the data through AJAX or retrieve the data through AJAX as well. Okay, so now if we wanted to make the edit or delete also, we can make it. Let's create a button on that section also in action td. Let's make a button type button id edit class button primary edit. Okay, likewise same we can define the button for delete. Now change the color of the button. Here you can see we have the edit button and delete button. So in next video I'm going to tell you about the edit and delete. In this video we have learned how to insert the data through AJAX and retrieve the data from table through AJAX. So thanks for watching.